I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I tried. I really, really did. Yet I just couldn't do it. What kind of completionist am I? What was the point of even spending all of this time playing this game if I just couldn't succeed? Why?
Crash Bandicoot Retrospective. Press start to begin.
The year is 2020, and Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, was just released on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and later re-released on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. After the massive success of both the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy and Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, developer Toys for Bob felt it was high time to finally give Crash Bandicoot a new game after 12 years without one. For those of you paying attention to the developers of each Crash game, you may be wondering, who the hell is Toys for Bob? Toys for Bob, my well-esteemed guests, is the company you should be thanking for the modern return of Crash Bandicoot. Toys for Bob is the developer of the very popular Toys to Life video game series Skylanders. If you remember from the intro of the Insane Trilogy video, Skylanders Imaginators was the game to bring Crash Bandicoot back from the dead with his very own level. The only time we've ever seen Crash Bandicoot on a console game since Crash Bandicoot Mind Over Mutant. Since then, they've done a lot to revive the big two PlayStation classics. They developed the Spyro the Dragon Reignited Trilogy, they ported the Insane Trilogy over to the Switch, and they helped Beenox develop Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. So if there was ever any developer to create a new Crash Bandicoot game at this point, it was Toys for Bob. At first, Toys for Bob wanted to create a reboot for Crash Bandicoot, but after interacting with Crash Bandicoot fans both in the company and outside of it, as well as hearing fan reception of the Crash remakes, they decided that a full-blown sequel to the original trilogy would be perfect. Will Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time become the next great Crash Bandicoot game, or will it become yet another Wrath of Cortex? Let's find out. Will people judge me for it? I mean, I haven't completed some games on the retrospective before, but I always feel bad about it. Why have a completion section if I don't complete every game? Should I just get rid of the completion section altogether? What do I do? Finally, after so long, I don't have to speed past a story section. It's certainly been quite some time since the past couple of games have been remakes. Alright, let's sit down by the fire while Grandpappy Bottles reads you a story. We start the game right where Crash Bandicoot Warped left off, with Cortex, Entropy, and Uka Uka trapped in between time. Entropy and Uka Uka are continuing their attempts to try and escape, while Cortex seems to have already given up. Uka Uka decides to use the Super Boo method and screams a rip in space-time, leading him into passing out and the two scientists to finally escape their prison. They realize that the rift they went through gives them the ability to travel through space and time, creating access to the multiverse. This gives Entropy and Cortex the idea to create a generator that can allow them to freely travel the multiverse so that they can take over everything. Enlisting the help of Engine and Embryo, their plan is in motion. On Insanity Island, Aku Aku senses a disturbance and tells Crash to see what's going on at Insanity Peak. When they go there, they meet our first new mask, Lonnie Lowly. Aku Aku recognizes him as one of the 4 quantum masks that only appear when there is a disturbance in time and space. This sets Crash, Coco, and Aku Aku on a quest to follow Lonnie Loli, find the quantum masks, and stop whatever shenanigans Cortex may be planning. Along the way, Crash, Coco, and Lonnie Loli meet up with some likely and unlikely allies. They meet 2 more quantum masks along the way, Akano and Kapunawa. Akano has power over dark matter, and Kapunawa has power over time. Not only do Crash and Coco find the quantum masks as allies, they also find an alternate universe version of Tawna and Dingodile, who has retired from being a villain and become a restaurateur. After defeating Engine, Embryo, and Cortex, Cortex becomes sad once more, wishing for their endless cycle of fighting to stop. Entropy makes his appearance and reveals his master plan. Entropy has been co-conspiring with another villain this entire time and was using Cortex and the others for their resources. This new villain is Dr. Entranced. Wait, hold on, wrong game. This new villain is an alternate universe version of Entropy. The Entropy from Tawna's universe. Now that he doesn't need him, Entropy, and as fans have dubbed her, Femtropy, decide to use the Rift Generator for themselves to rule the multiverse and erase all of their enemies from existence. At this point, Cortex joins Team Bandicoot to help them save the world, turning over a new leaf. After getting the final quantum mask, Ika Ika, who has the power over gravity, Team Bandicoot hijack Oxide's ship to take them to the Rift Generator, and they all defeat the Entropies once and for all. The quantum masks then destroy the Rift Generator, bringing peace back to space-time. Now, you'd think that this is the end of the game, but you'd be wrong. As Team Bandicoot celebrate their victory in the Snacks dimension, Cortex gets a devious idea. He finally figures out a way to end his and Crash's endless fighting. He kidnaps Kapunawa and uses her powers to travel back in time to 1996 so that he can prevent himself from creating Crash in the first place. Crash, Coco, and the other quantum masks chase after Cortex and try to stop his new plan. Luckily, when Cortex arrives in the past, his past self believes his future self is some sort of evil doppelganger there to stop his plans. Crash, Coco, and the quantum masks defeat Cortex, allowing past Cortex to go forward with attempting to make past Crash his general. God, my fucking brain hurts. It is then revealed that the reason the Cortex Vortex failed back then is because of our current Crash. Crash created himself. This must be the closest Crash Bandicoot will ever get to the grandfather paradox. The quantum masks teleport Cortex somewhere between time and space once again, but he just kind of finds it nice and relaxing. We then see the quantum masks Aku Aku, Tawna, Crash, and Coco playing video games with each other, enjoying their newfound peace. Also, Dingodile reopened his restaurant. The 100% ending doesn't have a lot going for it, it just pays homage to Crash 1 where they just do the where are they now bit for each character. To go through them real fast, Engine becomes a smooth jazz artist, Embryo becomes an exhibit in Ripperoo's museum, Oxide becomes addicted to energy drinks and gets a divorce. I'm not kidding. Dingo's Diner franchises out and gets shut down due to health code violations after just one day. Coco becomes an esports champ. Holy fuck, is that Nina? Cortex's minions make a healing crystal shop. Tawna gets into a relationship with Nathan Drake. That is also not a joke. The Entropies were never seen again, and as for Crash, he's doing just fine. Just funny little jokes. Nothing too important. No, the important part is the 106% secret ending, which teases a sequel. We see Cortex continuing to relax on the beach, only to be interrupted by an appearance from Uka Uka. Roll credits. When it comes to new Crash Bandicoot stories, I must say that this is probably the best one to come out of the series for a while. Literally ever since I finished Crash Bandicoot Warped! Even though some stories in other Crash games did interesting things, they never really reached the level of the original trilogy. Wrath of Cortex had cool ideas when it came to Crunch and the Elementals, but never explored them to the extent that they should have been explored. Twinsanity, though having the funniest writing in the series to date, is nothing more than a jumbled mess of cutscenes thanks to its troubled development, and the Titan series... oh boy. This is the best Crash story we've gotten since the original trilogy, and it fits right in with its zany sense of humor and quick wit. It almost feels like this story was Twinsanity done right. Hell, this game even had laugh-out-loud moments. One in particular that I truly loved is when Cortex is describing to his henchman his past self and says that he has, like, jaundiced skin, and then as soon as he says all of these, like, weird, ugly, like, descriptions of the guy, he then follows it up with an absolute 10. It killed me every time I heard it, and boy howdy did I hear a lot of it through perfecting Toxic Tunnels. We'll get there later. I especially love the writing on Dingodile. He was added into the cast to add a chaotic neutral element to the cast of playable characters, and he certainly embodies that. I mean, just look at that face when he's laughing at the entropies flirting with each other. That's a face meant for a reaction image. The only character whose writing I didn't particularly care for was Tawna's. Not only does her turning on them when they're on Oxide ship not really lead to anything at all, but even her in-level dialogue kinda made me cringe at times. Literally in her Tranquility Falls level, she just shouts, "Aww, kawaii!" And yeah, no, it doesn't do it for me. It seems they tried to just make her trendy, and it doesn't translate well. With all of that in mind, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time story gets my rating of an A. How could I talk about the 106% ending here? I didn't earn that. I didn't see that for myself. I had to look it up on a YouTube video to see what happened. Do I really deserve to talk about this ending if I couldn't even achieve it? Jesus Christ, we're 7 pages into the script and we're only on the gameplay section? This is gonna be a long video. Crash Bandicoot 4 is your standard Crash Bandicoot fare. You run, you jump, you spin, and I get tired. Nah, I'm just kidding. For the most part. Though I say that this is the standard Crash fare, only part of it is. Crash and Coco both play pretty similarly to the way they played in the Insane Trilogy. How this game shakes up their gameplay is the introduction of the quantum masks. Lonnie Lowly has the power of phase shifting, so whenever you see these blue transparent objects, push the trigger button, those transparent objects will become tangible. Be careful though, because it will make other objects transparent as well. Akano will allow Crash and Coco to enter a state of perpetual spinning. This spinning allows them to jump way farther than they typically would be able to otherwise, and they can even deflect some projectiles. Kapunawa is able to slow down time. This has 2 major uses in gameplay. It slows down platforms that move way too fast, allowing you to jump across safely, and it also allows you to bounce on nitro crates and not automatically die. This is a way better application of walking on nitro boxes than Wrath of Cortex's little... Finally, Ika Ika turns Crash 4 into VVVVVV, or as it's supposed to be called, V 6 times in a row. Essentially, you press the trigger to change the gravity from right side up and upside down whenever you want. It is honestly insane the amount of ways the level designers found to use all 4 of these quantum masks in such creative ways. Hell, one of the coolest moments in this game is in one of the final levels, Cortex Castle, where you literally go through this crazy gauntlet, constantly switching between the masks as it goes on. Crash and Coco aren't the only playable characters you play as in this game though. You also play as Tawna, Dingodile, and Cortex, and they all play completely differently from each other. Tawna is definitely the most similar to Crash and Coco. She goes through levels using her kick attack to kill enemies, which is pretty similar to Crash and Coco's spin. Where she differs is that she is able to wall jump in certain places, and even cooler, she has a grappling hook you can use. The grappling hook has a couple different functions. The grappling hook is used to traverse towards certain places in the background, it can break boxes, including nitros, and it can stun enemies, leaving them open to attack. Dingodile, unfortunately, doesn't give you access to his iconic flamethrower. Instead, he's traded his flamethrower for a vacuum. You can use this vacuum to hover through the air for a short time, suck up crates, and throw TNT crates and barrels to blow up enemies or obstacles. Cortex, by far, has the most different gameplay of them all. Instead of spinning enemies away or even defeating enemies at all, Cortex has his ray gun. Shooting enemies as Cortex doesn't defeat them, but will have 3 different things they can do depending on how many times you shoot the enemy. Shoot them once, and the enemy turns into a stone platform. Shoot them twice, and the enemy turns into a bouncy platform. Shoot them 3 times, and the enemy will become transparent, the closest thing you can do to defeating the enemies. Cortex also has a dash that he can use to dash across the air to other platforms. He can even kind of float there for a second for some last-minute adjustments. Unfortunately, I don't think any of these levels hold a candle to the Crash and Coco gameplay. I constantly went back and forth between which gameplay I felt was the worst, and I think I landed on Cortex's. And I think it 100% had to do with the timing of when you unlock Cortex. You unlock Cortex a little bit more halfway through the game, and he most certainly feels like the weakest character of all of them, having the worst jump and the slowest movement speed. Playing as Cortex just feels like a huge downgrade whenever you're forced to. Now, there is one bit of gameplay that I haven't talked about yet that is by far the worst parts of this game: the animal riding. There are 2 levels in this game where you have to ride animals hog wild style. You ride Polar in Bears Repeating, and Schnurgle in Crash Landed. They control very similarly to how Purah and Polar controlled in the Insane Trilogy, but their mobility took quite the downgrade. There are so many times where I would hold right for as much as I could to try and get some boxes, and they just wouldn't reach. This gameplay style was so bad, they had to patch it to make it slightly easier, but even then, it's still not great. Before the patch, if you wanted to get all 4 boxes of this 2x2 square, you needed to hit them just right, and in this fast-paced environment, it's almost impossible. Now, just hitting one of the boxes will break all 4. Thank God. If I had to get all of the boxes in the previous way, I think I'd want to shoot myself. But I'll get more into that for later. For now, I'd say this is some of the best level design the Crash Bandicoot series has to offer. It blew me away just how many ways the game implemented its gameplay elements in new creative ways that I never would have thought of. This game, fundamentally, is a level design marvel. With all of that in mind, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time's gameplay gets my rating of an A+. Such a high grade, yet I still feel hatred. I feel nothing but hatred for this game. Gameplay of an A+, yet I never want to play this game ever again. Crash 4 It's About Time saw a slight redesign for every character in the Crash Bandicoot franchise. Now, being a Crash Bandicoot fan and knowing how this franchise has gone thus far, that probably sent a shiver down your spine. Oh no. Are we going to get another Crash of the Titans situation? Thankfully, absolutely not. All Toys for Bob did was modernize the original designs of the characters in order to do 2 things. 1, to seamlessly bring them into the modern age, and 2, to make it clear that Crash 4 was its own thing, not just a DLC pack for the Insane Trilogy. Now, once again, you may be getting flashbacks to Crash of the Titans, and it's okay to have that worry, but I'm telling you, it'll be okay. Where Crash 4 and Crash of the Titans differ when it came to redesigning the characters is that it's clear that the team behind Crash 4 had a respect and an admiration for the original trilogy and the Insane Trilogy, whereas Crash of the Titans clearly didn't. Crash of the Titans devs saw the old designs as outdated and in need of an update, whereas Crash 4 made the old designs shinier. Engine isn't blue. Crash doesn't have tattoos, Coco doesn't have a football head, and Cortex doesn't look like a sim. All of the redesigns in this game just accentuate the cartoony nature of Crash Bandicoot. The devs understood that the original trilogy was going for a Looney Tunes type of aesthetic, and they wanted to run with that, and they really succeeded here. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about the music. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike the music in this game at all. It does a lot of great things by modernizing the sound of the original games, but outside of the main theme song and all of its remixes, I don't really remember a single song from this game. I do appreciate how it uses a lot of leitmotifs throughout the game's run though. For example, in a lot of Cortex's levels, they use the Dr. Cortex leitmotif from the original trilogy. It's cool that every aspect of this game's presentation is a loving homage to the original trilogy. What aspect of the game that is entirely new, shockingly enough, is a lot of the voice cast. Returning from the Insane trilogy, we have Lex Lang as Cortex, Corey Burton as Engine and Oxide, Fred Tatasquire as Dingodile, and Greg Eagles as Aku Aku. That's right, not even Crash and Coco retain their voice actors, which is strange because Debbie Derryberry has been voicing Coco since Wrath of Cortex. For the returning voice actors, they once again do an amazing job bringing these characters to life. At this point, I can't imagine Cortex being played by anyone other than Lex Lang, and Fred Tatasquire is absolutely stellar as the chaotic Dingodile. Alright, let's do a quick rundown of all the new voice actors. We got Scott White, who also plays Mr. Graham in Mighty No. 9, taking on the role of Crash Bandicoot. He sounds indistinguishable from Jess Harnell. So much so that I found out that it wasn't Jess Harnell months after the game's release. Turns out he was too busy recording for the Animaniacs reboot to return. Eden Regal, who also played Hifumi Togo from Persona 5, takes on the role of Coco. Though Coco doesn't sound as nerdy as she usually does, it's hard to beat Jimmy Neutron, but as for sounding like the trendy little sister type, she nails it. I like her direction on the character. Taking on the role of Tawna Bandicoot, we have Ursula Taharian, I'm sorry if I fucked that up, who has played, Nor in Minecraft Story Mode. She really hasn't done a lot. I think she does an okay job. Some of her line deliveries sound like she's just reading the lines and nothing else. But with some of the lines that they have her say, how could she do well? I think it's just the unfortunate circumstance that they gave her the most obnoxious lines in the game. Jean-Paul Carliac plays the role of Dr. Entropy, and my god, he does an amazing job. He makes Entropy sound so, no pun intended, nefarious, and he really hams it up. What do you expect from the guy who plays the Boss Baby in Boss Baby Back in Business, the greatest Netflix series of all time? I'm not gonna lie, I actually do really like that show, unironically. Kapunawa was played by Charisse Booth, who voices Sojourn? I don't know how to say that. I don't play this fucking trash game. Her voice and character were a lot of fun to see. I loved her jovial nature. It immediately made me fall in love with the character, and made her one of my favorite Quantum Masks. Fred Tatasquire, who voices Dingodile, also voices both Akano and Ika Ika's positive side. They didn't really have much screen time to show off his performances, but from what little they do give, it's pretty good. If you're wondering who voices Ika Ika's depressed side, that would be Zeno Robinson, the voice of Hawks in My Hero Academia. The voice of Lonnie Lowly is the amazing, the incredible Richard Steven Horvitz. Fans of Nickelodeon will recognize him as Invader Zim. Fans of Cartoon Network will recognize him as Billy from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and those of you who live on the internet will know him as Moxie from Hell of a Boss. Needless to say, he does a stellar job as the neurotic Lonnie Lowly. His tone of voice perfectly matches the character. Finally, the new voice of Dr. Embryo is Roger Craig Smith. That's right, Sonic the Hedgehog himself. Just like with Scott White as Crash, I didn't even realize that Embryo wasn't played by Maurice LaMarche. That's how good of an impression Roger Craig Smith makes. Once you know it's him though, you can't unhear it. with gorgeous designs of both the characters and the world, music that understands the soul of the original trilogy, and an all-star voice cast that knocks every character out of the park, this is the Crash game that has the best presentation of them all. With all of that in mind, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time's presentation gets my rating of an A+. I never want to play one of the best Crash games ever made. Like, that sounds insane, right? Should I just try to get those platinum relics? No, it's just misery. I've been through enough with 100%, and that last 6% is the hardest part. This is the most conflicted I've ever been about a video game in my entire life. You know what? I can't take it anymore. I need to get this out, and I need to not feel ashamed about it anymore. Well, we're here. The reason you clicked on this video. To hear my experience completing Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Just as I said in the beginning of this entire video, I didn't do it. But fuck, did I try? Now, of course, going into this video, I knew, trust me, I knew how demanding and difficult 106%ing Crash 4 was. I know because back in 2020, when this game first came out, I tried to do it. After a while, I just stopped playing the game. It actually prevented me from beating this game the first time I played it. This time, I was determined. I had the drive. I had the force. I had Billiam's 24-hour Lost retrospective to keep me company while I was doing it. This time, I was going to finally complete the challenge I set out to do and finally 106% this game. Let me tell you what this game asks of you in order to get that full completion. In every stage of the game, you have 6 gems to collect. 3 of the gems are given to you for collecting 80% of the Wumpa Fruit in a stage. The 4th gem is given to you when you break all of the boxes in a stage. The 5th gem is given to you when you beat the stage without dying more than 3 times. Finally, the 6th gem is given to you by finding it hidden somewhere in the stage. Already, I have a bone to pick with this system of gem collection. For one thing, the Wumpa Fruit gems seem kinda superfluous, don't they? If you're not trying to get all of the gems, giving you gems just because doesn't really seem necessary because the player won't care. If the player does care about getting gems, they're more than likely trying to get all of the boxes in a stage. Getting all of the boxes in a stage basically guarantees you the Wumpa gems, so it just makes those gems seem worthless if you don't get the box gem. There really won't be a difference between receiving 4 gems after beating a stage, or 1 if getting the 4 gems doesn't really feel 4 times as rewarding. The death gem kinda sucks too, since one of the best aspects of the original Crash trilogy was using all of the lives you accumulated to be able to have as many tries as you need to get all of the boxes in a stage. This especially would have helped in the 2 most frustrating aspects of getting box gems in this game: the animal riding sections and the rail grinding sections. The reason why these sections blow is because if you miss a box during one of these sections, that's it. You missed it. The only way to go back and go get it is to either die or restart the stage. In a game where death actually matters, that makes these sections go from a fun challenge to a frustrating obstacle. Finally, the secret gems are bullshit a lot of the time too. This reason also extends to the box gems, because the hidden gem and some of the boxes have the same problem in this game. They are in the most asshole of locations sometimes. You thought that one asshole box in Crash 2 was bad. This game basically uses asshole boxes as a fucking gameplay mechanic. Like, look at these 4 boxes and run it by you. In fact, don't look at them, because how fucking could you? How in the fuck are you supposed to know that those are there? No matter which way you move the camera, no matter which way you look at the area, these crates are fucking invisible. That's not a challenge. That's just cruel. It also wouldn't be so bad if missing boxes or the hidden gem didn't mean restarting a 5 to 10 minute long stage a lot of the time. I mean, hell, remember when playing Crash 2 and making it to Cold Hard Crash and being like, god damn, 155 boxes is so many. Compared to this game, those are baby numbers. For example, Dingodile, which is halfway through the game, mind you, has over 500 boxes in just that one stage. Even if you don't want to look at the outliers, it's very rare for levels in this game to not have around 200 boxes per stage. So, you obtain the 6 gems in this stage. Whoop-de-freaking-do. You think you're cool? You think you did anything of value? Think again! Every single level in this game has an inverted version where it's just the same level again, except mirrored and having some sort of filter over them. There's coloring book, comic book, underwater, slightly blurry. I know it's supposed to be 8-bit, but it doesn't really work. Do these levels do anything interesting with this concept? No, silly! Why would they? Do you need to collect 6 more gems in the same exact ways in this stage? Absolutely! At least the hidden gem is in another bullshit spot that's probably out of sight, so that's different. Getting every gem and every inverted gem will net you, and you better be sitting down for this one, 456 gems total. Remember when the gem total was like 42 at the highest? You want to know the fucked up part? Getting every gem in the game will only get you 98%. You don't even get the 100% ending for going through the trouble of getting all of the gems. Oh, and not to mention the colored gems as well. There are 4 colored gems in this game that are even more hidden than the normal secret gems. There are other collectibles that this torture device of a video game decides to put you through, as if the asshole boxes and replaying the same stage over and over again wasn't enough. No. Let me introduce you to the 2 other collectibles that I managed to collect all of. First, the Flashback Tapes. In 21 of the stages in this game, there are collectibles called Flashback Tapes that you can get. How do you collect them? You must get up to the tape's location within the stage without dying a single time. Basically, they are this game's way to reinvent the death routes. I don't think these are implemented that badly, but having yet another challenge that requires you not to die makes you wonder why checkpoints even exist in the first place. These flashback tapes contain short obstacle courses for Crash and Coco to go through. Depending on how many boxes you break within the stage, the game will reward you with a flashback tape relic. Get them all, and you will earn the Platinum Flashback Relic. These start out really fun and a good way to become good at jumping across boxes, but by the end though, these flashback tapes become absolute torture. One of the things the flashback tapes do that I really don't like is introduce gameplay elements that are exclusive to these levels. Let me tell you, I hate, and I mean hate, these bounce crates. These bounce crates are special because after depleting the arrow of its lights, it becomes a nitro crate. Oh, you thought that it's meant to limit the amount of times you can jump on this crate? What are you, fucking stupid? More like you have to jump on these crates that many times, because if you don't turn these crates into nitros, they won't explode when you hit the green exclamation point box. It's so needlessly ridiculous. Oh, and don't even get me started on this obstacle. Oh yes, it's so fun to try to slide under these nitro crates based on their unpredictable jumping timing. So fucking fun. The only cool part of these flashback tapes is that it gives insight into the creation of both Crash and Coco. Hell, we got Crash's full canonical name from these. If you're curious, it's Crashworth Cortex the First. The amount of times that I've heard, "Embryo, the Revivotron," or "That's a dead one," or "Confound it all," can drive a man mad, and honestly, it probably has in this case. Oh, you thought that was it? You thought that was it! That'll only get you 99%! No. Next, we have the next horrible trial this game puts you through. Remember how I criticized this game for its death gem? What if we made it fucking worse? Insanely perfect relics. You must get all of the boxes, the Wumpa gems, and the death gem in a stage without dying a single time. Pretty much, you must complete the stage like you were playing Crash 1. Remember when I was so happy that the Insane Trilogy got rid of that for their version of Crash 1? They brought it back and made it so much worse. It took me a combined 10 hours just to get the insanely perfect relics in toxic tunnels. One level. Not only is this stage super long, not only is this stage super difficult, but it also makes you do the gem gauntlet as well. They put boxes in the gem gauntlet. How could you be so cruel? You know what though? I fucking did it. I got all 38 insanely perfect relics in the game. Doing all of this finally put me over the edge to get the 100% ending. There is just one more task I had left, and it is easily the cruelest one of them all. The bane of my existence in the entire Crash Bandicoot franchise, Time Trial Relics. They couldn't just be content with Time Trial Relics though. No. What do you think this game is? Fun? Don't be fucking ridiculous. Of course you have to get all 38 platinum relics. Not sapphire, not gold, fucking platinum. Now, if you are requiring the platinum relics in order to complete the game, you'd think maybe they'd nerf the platinum relics. I mean, hell, they have the Toys for Bob relics over that, so the platinum relics can't be that bad, right? This is what made me quit. I spent 3 hours. 3 hours trying to get the platinum relic in A Rude Awakening. I spent 3 hours trying to get the platinum relic in level 1, and I still couldn't do it. Part of the problem is that this game refuses to give you the one thing that made gold relics possible in the original trilogy. There is no Crash Dash. There is no Crash Dash at all. Instead, the only help you get is that when you beat the game, you get the triple spin move. When you spin 3 times in a row, it will propel you forward a little bit. You can't even spam the spin button. No. You have to time it correctly like it's Mario's triple jump. I don't think I need to tell you how ridiculous this is. The only help you get on relics is a move that you have to time while also trying to maneuver a stage quickly and get time boxes. Like, it's just too much to work with. It wouldn't hurt so bad, it wouldn't sting so much if the 106% ending of this game wasn't the canon ending of the game. Listen, I know that it's just a 2-second cutscene showing that Uka Uka is returning to be the villain in the next game. But does that feel worth it? Hours and hours of torture, playing the same 38 levels over and over and over and over again. This game's completion is not fun. This game's completion ruins this game. I was genuinely having a good time with this game. I really was. After a while though, trying to get everything this game challenges you to get to, once again, get the canon ending to the game, turns this game from one of the best designed platformers ever made into a list of chores. This game is a list of chores. There were so many times where I would complete one level, one fucking level, finally get all of the gems, just to dread having to do it all over again in the inverted version, and then knowing that I'd be spending hours and hours and hours and hours trying to perfect the level. I can't even imagine how much longer it would have taken this video to come out if I stuck with getting the Platinum Relics. You probably wouldn't see the end of this retrospective until next fucking year. If even that, depending on how long they'd be willing to keep me in a psych ward. Obligatorily, I am telling you that if you want me to go through the torture of getting all of the Platinum Relics, let me know if you want to see me live stream it, because that is the only way I will ever return to this game. Ever. You know what trying to complete this game made me realize, though? It's okay that I didn't 106% Crash 4. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous, especially at this point. I mean, throughout my 2 retrospectives, there were plenty of games I didn't complete. Kirby's Avalanche, Kirby Air Ride, Kirby's Canvas Curse, DDD's Drum Dash Deluxe, Team Kirby Clash Deluxe, Kirby's Battle Royale, Super Kirby Clash, Kirby Fighters 2, Kirby's Dream Buffet, Crash Team Racing, Crash Bash, Crash Entrance, Crash Nitro Kart on the Game Boy Advance, Crash Purple, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, all games I've reviewed so far that I have not completed. So why am I getting so hung up on Crash 4? Aside from the Kirby Clash games, which I'm actually still playing to this day to hopefully make a full video later on, I never sacrificed seeing all of the story a game had to offer. All of the stuff I refused to do did nothing but increase a number on a save select screen. I put myself through hell to see all of the story Kirby had to offer. All of those true arenas, all because I knew you get extra story from them. I tried to do the same thing with this game, but I really had to ask myself questions I've asked myself a million times, but this time the answer was different. Is completing this game really worth it? There have been many times throughout these 2 retrospectives where I've asked myself, what do I get out of this? Will completing this game that brings me so much agony really be worth it? How much more information could I possibly get that will change what I will write about the completion of a game? Usually the way I justify it is to tell myself that to complete it will give me an undeniable understanding of the experience instead of just assuming that it's bad. Hell, sometimes mastering the game in completion can be a fun game within itself, even when difficult. I just couldn't justify it to myself anymore when I got to these relics. You know what I learned, though? That's okay. It's okay to not torture myself with a game that so blatantly does not respect your time. It's okay that I couldn't bring you an entirely informed opinion at the expense of my enjoyment of making these videos in the first place. It's okay that this is what I gave you, as long as I'm open and honest to you guys, my beloved, well-esteemed guests. That's all that matters. So do I recommend completing this game? The hell do you think? Don't let my long rant about this game's completion requirement fool you. Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time is one of the greatest games of all time and belongs on the same level of praise as the original trilogy. With an amazing story that doesn't tell cringy joke after cringy joke and really captures the spirit and charm that Crash had back in the day, gameplay that is the best Crash has ever seen with varied gameplay styles, amazing level design, and creative gameplay elements, and some of the best, if not the best, presentation in the entire Crash Bandicoot franchise, do not let the intimidating, ridiculous completion requirement intimidate you. If you skip this game, you are doing a disservice to yourself as a Crash fan. If you play this game casually, you will have an amazing time. If you try to complete this game, you will have a terrible time. So honestly, just don't complete it if you aren't prepared to be frustrated for a long time. With all of that in mind, Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time gets my overall rating of an A. An absolutely stellar game that should not be overlooked. Crash is truly back. Thank you everybody so much for watching this video, and if you like the Crash retrospective, please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next episode. We also have merch in the description below where you can get our shirts, mugs, and stickers to enrich your gameplay experience. You could also become a channel member to get all of these videos when I'm finished editing them as opposed to when they're scheduled to come out. Next week, we'll be looking at the next and last Crash game in the lineup, Crash Team Rumble. With that, I'm Bottles, and I bid you, my well-esteemed guests, adieu.